So what exactly is an IRR? What's a cash on cash return? What's an equity multiple? Anytime you're dealing with real estate investing, that's typically where you'll hear these terms. And today I'm just going to go over briefly a little bit about the difference between cash on cash return and IRR with a couple examples. This is something that I could spend a couple hours explaining because these are sometimes can be complicated for people to understand. But whether you're an investor or you're setting up a deal as a sponsor, or you're just curious, you should understand a little bit about what people are telling you when they say they're getting a certain type of return on their deal. So let me share my screen real quick. All right, so cash on cash or IRR, what's better? Let's first look at what exactly these are. So what is IRR? It stands for internal rate of return, and it's basically a metric used in financial analysis to estimate the profitability of a potential investment. Normally, IRR is used internally for determining a certain project a company might want to invest in to see what the return would be. But it's become common in real estate deals to look at IRR as a potential to evaluate different deals. The IRR is basically a discount rate, a percentage that makes the net present value of all cash flows equal to zero. So this deals with cash flow analysis and net present value, which I don't have time to go into today. But if you basically look at money going in and money going out over time, and it's similar to inflation. So over time, the value of money changes. So $10 today that I give you, if I said, okay, next year, a year from now, I'm also going to give you $10, that $10 might not be worth the same as it is today, and typically due to inflation. So the present value of the money today versus a year, 2 years, 3 years in the future needs to be taken into account when looking at an investment, because you're getting money paid out to you down the road. A cash on cash return is typically just an annual return, basically an annual rate of return, often used in real estate transactions, that looks at cash income earned versus cash invested. So if you put money into a deal, you put $100,000 into a real estate investment, and you get an 8% cash on cash return that year, that basically means that you got $8,000 out that year. Similar to a return on investment, if you invest in something and you get 8% back, $8,000 back, that's similar to a cash on cash return. What kind of return are you getting on your money? Now, cash on cash return is typically just an annual, or every year, what the rate of return is on the money you've invested. So comparing cash on cash return to IRR can be a little bit complicated. So I have a couple examples here. So let's say you put in $500,000 into a real estate deal. First year, you get back 20 grand. Next year, which is a 4% return, cash on cash return that year. Next year, 65,000, that's a 13% return on your original investment that you made that year. You get 70 grand the next year, that's a 14% return on your original cash. Same thing year 4, and at the year 5, you get your money back, your original $500,000. So that's not really a cash on cash return. It's just returning your capital to you. So the total amount that you got back over time was $745,000, which calculates to an IRR, internal rate of return, over that 5-year period of 9.8%. An equity multiple is common in real estate, which basically means, did I double my money? Did I basically, get the same amount of money back? If you put 500 grand in, did you get 500 grand back? That would be a 1 equity multiple. If you put 500 grand in and you got $1 million back, you doubled your money. That's a 2x equity multiple. You doubled your money. Here it's 1.49. So you got about 1.49% or 1.49 more, 49% more, basically, than your original investment over 5 years. This example looks at the difference if it's a short-term return. So you put in 500 grand, Year one, you get your money back plus $220,000. So compared to the prior, you're getting 745,000 in that one. This one, you're getting 720,000 back. Similar amount of money back, but look at the IRR. The IRR in this one is 44% because you got your money back so quickly. So you got about the same amount of money back, and look at the equity multiple, 1.49 versus 1.44. So it's almost the exact same equity multiple, same amount of cash going in and almost the same amount coming back, but the IRR is dramatically higher in example 2 because you got your money back quicker. So you didn't have to wait 5 years to get that amount of money because the value of money was going down. In fact, the 44%, because of the value of money, because it was paid out over 5 years, it brought the IRR down to less than 10%. So a huge difference in what the IRR is when you're analyzing an investment that pays out quickly over a long period of time. So you need to look at not only the potential equity multiple, what the cash on cash returns are, or the IRR to understand the investment. You really need to understand the whole scope of their plan. Like, are they planning on selling in year 5 or year 7? In which case you'd be more like example 1. The IRR might be lower. But if they're getting a high IRR in a deal that pays out 7 years from now, it's probably a pretty decent investment. And in example 2, it's going to sound like a great deal. Oh, it's a 44% IRR. You're getting about the same amount of money, just back a lot quicker. So that's a little bit the difference between the two. I'm going to go into in another series preferred returns, which are actually very similar to your annual cash on cash return. It's just a different concept. So thanks for watching, and make sure to subscribe.